All right, well, if you are finding it hard to reach your financial goals, you might want to consider this. You wouldn't take a long road trip without a map. So in the same way, you need a map for your financial future. And a financial plan looks at where you are today and where you want to go, and then it sets out all the steps you need to take to get there. Now, we're learning more about this from Jessica Woods, who is a financial representative with Northwestern Mutual. Welcome back to Style. Always a pleasure having you.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's first talk about why we need financial plans.
Right. So, financial plans are really important because people need to have a plan to know where they're going with their money. Okay. Having a plan creates financial security. Knowing what you want your money to do is how you get there. And you have to start by asking yourself some tough questions. Am I managing my risks? And what do I want to achieve long term with my money? And then when you create that financial plan, you create stability and it relieves some of that stress for you.
That's great. Yeah. And, honestly, when we come up with financial plans, oftentimes there's just so many things out there that we don't really know where to start. And so I think, putting it in the sense of having a roadmap, I think is a great way to go.
Yeah.
Because we have a start, we have a finish on the roadmap.
Right.
So thinking this is where we are, this is where we want to go, at least gets us to that A and B, and then we can figure out the middle going.
Take some of the stress away.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what are the dangers of not having a financial plan?
Right. Well, having or not having a plan is still a plan. It's just risky and irrelevant
Right.
to what you want to accomplish with your money.
Right.
Most people are learning about finances through trial and error, and they don't have a clear path for what they want to accomplish with their money. And there's a lot of myths and misconceptions out there about money as well. But those who are the most confident, they have a plan and they know what it is and they act upon it over the long term.
So you said there are some myths and misconceptions. What are some of the most common misconceptions? Because I know that when we think of financial plans, like you said, there's probably a lot of things going on. What's one of the most prominent?
Well, one of the biggest is that financial planning is for the wealthy. When really, the less money you have, the more important it is to have a plan. You want to make sure that every dollar you have is working for you for your short and long-term goals.
Right, okay. Yeah, and that's probably a big thing, is a lot of people think that, well, if I don't have a lot of money, I can't really do this financial planning. And a lot of people, and this, especially in this day and age with the economy, we're living paycheck to paycheck. So the folks that are living paycheck to paycheck, what do we do when it comes to a financial plan?
Well, the key is just to start early. You want to start with small, consistent savings. You want to start building a pot for future goals. And again, making sure that you have a plan for that money. I mean, even if you are living check to check, there's going to be some room there working with a professional to get you to be able to, pay your debts and pay your bills as well as save will be really important and crucial for long-term goals.
Right. So even if it's just a small amount, we can't stress enough that even that small amount, that's still something.
Right.
That's still a starting off point, right? So speaking of starting off points, where do we start? What's the best way to start this?
Right. The best way to start is just small, consistent savings, and then getting with a professional to work and build your wealth over time. Normally people ask that question, and it's related to, for example, education versus retirement. Where do we start first?
Right.
Ultimately, you just start saving for the future. In that particular instance, we'd be working on your retirement first, because there's loans and there's help for college and education. There's no loans for retirement.
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, yeah, absolutely. Well, now I want to talk about something that sometimes can be a little mystifying to folks, and that is the Roth IRAs.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what Roth IRAs are and why they are important.
Yeah. The difference between Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs confuse people frequently. And really the difference here, they're both investment accounts. The difference is the tax consequences. So with a Roth IRA, you're going to pay the taxes prior to investing. And with a traditional IRA, you're going to pay the taxes when you take out the money,
Gotcha.
the same as you would with a 401k.
Right.
There's some other income guidelines and contribution maximums that go along with that. So again, for that type of thing, you want to talk to a professional about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about insurance, there's a couple of types of insurance. I want to double back on this. Can you explain the difference between term insurance and permanent insurance?
Yeah, the difference between term and permanent, that's a frequent question, and people want to know which is better. Well, really the solution depends on your situation. So term insurance is less expensive, and it can be good if you need protection but you have a tight budget, or it could be good if you need protection for a small period of time or short period of time. And permanent insurance, you can have that protection for as long as you want or your whole lifetime, and it actually has cash value within it that that's guaranteed to grow, and you can use that as, you know, a supplement to your retirement, for example.
Yeah.
And so again, with that kind of thing, determining what amount you need and what type, you know, talk to a professional who can take your whole plan into consideration.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, one of the big questions, using an advisor like yourself, what are the major, I mean, might kind of seem like a no-brainer question, but it's really not. What are the benefits of coming to someone like you as opposed to doing it on our own?
Yeah, this is big in today's age when there's the internet and technology and Google, and people are, you know, why should I use a professional versus doing it myself? And I like to address this using the analogy of a fitness trainer. You know, we use trainers for lots of reasons. For one, they're knowledgeable on fitness and exercise. Two, they push us to do more and to do better. And then three, they hold us accountable to the goals that we chose for ourselves and that are important for us. And I do the same thing for a financial plan. I mean, how many of us really stick to our fitness regimen without a trainer there to push us along?
Yeah,
so
someone pushing us along.
It works the same way with a financial professional, and we can keep you accountable. And we do this all day long. That's all we do is work with people's financial plans. And so we're very good at dealing with the intricacies and the things that make it more complicated as they come up. And we also help people manage their emotions around their money. You know, people are very emotional about money.
That's a big one.
Yeah, rightfully so. And we're there to keep them on track, make sure they, you know, here's what you said was important, now I'm gonna hold you to that, basically.
Right. Well, Jessica, always great having the expert advice that you bring. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
And how can our viewers contact you to learn more?
Yeah, the viewers can contact me or a member of my team directly. My phone number is 872-7838, or they can check out my website at jessicawoods.nm.com.
Fantastic. Well, Jessica, always welcome here. Great seeing you. And thanks again for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.